Like, seriously, it's just, I don't even understand how they did so many wrong things in a row.
Oh, that was wild. That was wild. And also that the majority of our screen time went to Allison and Rhaenyra in that scene that we didn't need.
Oh my god, they were just staring at each other for like 2 minutes!
Yeah, to say disappointed is beyond an understatement. And also, you don't want me in a writer's room because I've never taken formal writing classes and I'll fuck it up.
I have, though. So here's my thing. Because I have this issue with a lot of Marvel stuff, too. And not even just, like, recent Marvel stuff, but just the bad Marvel stuff. Patrick and I are watching Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings for too many times. And the writers on that movie have no other writing experience. So if you're gonna hire nobody, at least hire someone who understands the source material.
Yes. Yes. What they need to do is, like, they need to get passionate people that have read the books and love the books. And they need to tell these writers, okay, like, hey, I don't know how to write it. Here's what happens. Here's what whatever. Here's where we could get into a conspiracy. Because there are things that you can run with. Like, rumors in the book that you can run with.
Right.
That work for these characters, right? But, like, the whole arc with Daemon is so funny to me because in the books, it's literally like, Daemon is unaffected by Alice. That's it. And I mean, if he doesn't tell anybody about the visions, we wouldn't know.
Sure, fine.
He's telling people in the show.
Yeah.
He's telling Sir Alfred, he's like, oh yeah, this place will mess you up. Like, he's telling people. He's telling Simon. He's telling everyone, like, you know, how he's feeling. So
Right.
there would have been accounts of people being like, you know, the prince is strange.
The problem is the inconsistency in the characters. William, buddy, I love that you're watching, but you're really just not smart enough to keep up with this conversation. Why do the writers need to read the book that they're adapting? Because they're adapting it! The book is the jumping off point!
He's being sarcastic. I think he's being sarcastic.
I don't know, he's made a few questionable comments in your section here. But
Maybe.
my thing is, obviously, like, omitting Nettles and having Rhaena claim the dragon, that's fine. That makes sense. You're kind of consolidating how many characters you're working with because George R.R. Martin likes writing stories with a gajillion characters, and I understand the need to consolidate that for television.
Yeah.
However, drastically changing characterizations in service of nothing is crazy. Like, Alicent and Rhaenyra's relationship and just aging Alicent down makes no sense. And it only made their writing worse.
I agree. They had a chance to make it better, and they didn't. Also, I have made this argument many a time and many a live, where I've been like, you know, we can't really trust the books. There is inherent misogyny in how the Maesters depict not just Rhaenyra and Alicent, but all of the women in Fire and Blood. Like, fine. But this has completely made it, like, this is misogynistic in an opposite way.
Yes.
Where it's like,
Women are peace, men are war.
Yes. I hate that. I hate it.
It's, it's the fucking worst. Because, so here's the deal. What it feels like, and I had this issue last season, and the problem is absolutely Sarah Hess, is that, yeah, it feels like they're trying really hard to be feminist, but no one is actually feminist in the writer's room, so they just don't know how to do it.
It's literally like girl power, and I can't. Like,
it's
that's not
so
actually
bad.
Like, it's so bad. I can't. I'm dumbfounded right now. Like, I almost need a minute to, like, get off live, like, scream, and then just be like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm genuinely fucking dumbfounded. Like, I can't believe, I actually think the leaks did make the episode more interesting. So now I am of the mind that actually HBO may have leaked the episode to get people to watch it.
That's fair, because people have been done with this whole season.
Yeah.
See, my thing with
I can't believe this was the finale either.
I know, and so my thing with the whole, like, the books aren't accurate thing is, that's only partially true. The book tells you when there are multiple sources for something. And it's not every event. The dates, people's ages, the deaths, the battles, those are all accurate. Like, that, it's a history book, guys. Only pieces of this, like, surrounding stuff. I was gonna grab mine. It's sitting right there.
No, we're getting into it. We're getting into it because I'm pissed about a few things.
Let's do it.
Okay, Oscar Tully.
Yes.
Oscar Tully should not be taking over at this point in time. This happens way later. And also, it's not Oscar fucking Tully that takes over.
Right.
Why can't we use someone named Elmo? Okay, George loves Sesame Street and Muppets, and let him love it, okay? Leave him alone. He's a very serious man. Let him put silly things in here.
Right.
It's not gonna end, like, no one's gonna be that mad that there's a Sir Elmo, I promise.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is Maylor.
That's the other one I was gonna say.
I'm not gonna let go of fucking Maylor.
Yep.
It doesn't make sense. And then if they make me watch a scene where Helena gets taken advantage of by Aemond, I am actually going to, like, lose my damn mind if that is how they're going to explain her being pregnant with Maelor, because there's no other explanation.
Right. My biggest issue, honestly, besides just the pacing of this season, like when it was a couple episodes ago when Alicent was like, it's been like a week since Viserys died. I was like, bitch, what are you talking about? Like,
I have yapped about this, and people don't understand. They're like, "Oh, you must not have liked Game of Thrones." I'm like, "No, no, no. Hear me out. Here's the fucking problem. When season 1 covers 16 years of material and season 2 covers 3 weeks,
yes,
we have a problem.
Yes,
we have a problem for your viewers. It is jarring. Okay,
it's very jarring. And here's the deal: those you must not like Game of Thrones people. Game of Thrones had good scenes, and the dialogue was good, and the political stuff made sense, and the pacing wasn't garbage until season 7. Like, it's not the same. I'm not saying I want Dragonfire every fucking episode, but it needs to make sense. And every scene between Alicent and Rhaenyra, hell, every scene with Alicent this season, didn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's not even just Alicent and Rhaenyra that they've nuked. It's pretty much every character, though, because then, here's the deal. You want to have Daemon having a spiritual journey? Okay,
sure, fine.
You can do that. But don't give him 3 visions every episode that we have to watch. Give him 1 vision. We understand he's still going through that. But develop Jason, Bela, and Helena. Why have we not seen... We saw Helena in the vision that Daemon has now, but, like, show Helena having visions. I'm actually interested in that.
Yeah, if you're gonna add because that was not in the book. If you're gonna add that shit, then just then do it though.
Do it right.
Yeah. My other thing was just, oh god, I mean every scene with Chris Cole, but Aemond seems the closest to his book character. But
yes and no.
Well, that's why I said it like that, because every other character doesn't resemble their book character even a little bit at this point.
The Aemond change that they made is one of those changes I will defend, because people will be like, do you like anything that they've done? Yes, actually. I think it makes so much sense for Aemond to go after Aegon, especially because this whole thing is second son syndrome. Throughout the whole Targaryen line, we see it happening again and again.
Yeah.
And also, it wouldn't be widely known if he did go after Aegon, because why would people want to fight for the Greens if they know that the Greens aren't even on the same page?
Totally.
So it makes sense for that to be secret and tight and whatever. And Aemond doing that, I actually loved that. I don't love the fight scene coordination where Rhaenys dies and that whole thing. That was stupid. But I did love the Aemond change.
It was not great. I will say the dragon on dragon stuff was really good in that scene. And I absolutely love, because Aegon's face was like, oh, my brother's here to help, and then Aemon's like, Dracarys, bitch, like, fuck you. And then,
that was funny.
It was really good. I think it was a little bitch ass that Vhagar had to come up under Meleys to fight her twice. Like,
Rhaenys isn't stupid enough to go over the edge of a cliff, and Rhaenys isn't stupid enough to lose track of Vhagar's big ass. Okay.
Right, Vhagar's way too big to sneak attack. Like, we just established that he's the biggest dragon in existence right now by a lot. Like, how are you hiding?
I am you know, they got me back in with episodes 5. Episode 5 was the closest thing they have done to Game of Thrones dialogue-wise. So I was, like, back in it for episode 5. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Episode 6, I liked dialogue, not that good. Episode 7, I was like, wow, cinematography-wise, best
Great.
episode they've ever done.
Yeah. And then we're back.
This was garbage.
Yeah.
And then we're back. And then we're back to Sarah Hess. Like, literally light me on fire right now. Dracarys me.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is that the fans can't even see where they're trying to go with it because they clearly don't know. The characterizations are so inconsistent, and the major plot points they seem to be keeping, but in like a weird, badly written way.
I already know that editors are going to make me feel better about this season than how it actually looked, because the editors on TikTok have a better vision of how things should go. Like, I already know that the editors are going to put the 2 scenes of Daemon crowning Rhaenyra in season 1 and then him bowing to her in season 2, and I'm going to be like, wow, that looked good. But also, we didn't need to regress his whole character like this.
We didn't. Because, again, book Daemon would never.
He would not.
There wouldn't have been any questioning. Well, and here's my thing.
So mad.
It's mostly Team Greens, but it's people that are desperately trying to defend the show and trying to frame it like this is what Martin wanted. And I'm so sorry. He has written entire blog posts about adaptations and how you shouldn't change the writer's work because that's why you wanted to adapt it, so why are you changing big giant shit? Do you think that magically doesn't apply to House of the Dragon? Because why? Because he has a producer credit on it? That's why he's not openly talking shit, because as the show is airing, he's still getting paid, and you need to watch it in order for him to get paid. That's what that means.
He wants them to keep paying him. They're going to adapt everything. I've heard rumor now of 7 shows in development.
Oh, I don't want 7 shows.
Already I'm scared, right? But the whole thing is him bringing up that thing about the dragon is absolutely, guys, you have to remember, he loves to use metaphors, okay?
This is him letting off a little bit of steam so that he doesn't explode.
And they'll be like, he's nitpicky.
No.
No, he's not. He's pissed about everything. He definitely saw this season in advance, and he's like, wow.
Especially, he has said on several occasions Daemon Targaryen is his favorite character, and they just, butchered the hell out of him in his adaptation. And you think he's happy about that? No.
I'm just so glad. I'm so glad I'm getting into the books. For those of you that don't know, I've had people asking. I do have a Discord with a book club, and we're doing Buddy Reads. It's read at your own pace, whatever. You can join it. It's up there. However, just because I finished Fire and Blood doesn't mean you shouldn't read it. You have 2 years before season 3.
I did it between season 1 and season 2. Because I was like, I'll just read along with this season, so I literally only did the dance, and then I reread along with this season to see where all the major changes were, and they were every page, and that was slightly frustrating. But yeah, it's dense, but you'll be fine. There's maps and stuff to help you.
Yeah, 2 years is crazy. No, guys, the best way to do it is read and annotate. It doesn't matter how slow you read it, okay? And what I do is I put a chapter summary for every single chapter. I've got these really nice
that's smart.
Post-it notes. Every single chapter has a chapter summary. So if I want to reference something fast, I do that. Stuff they've changed in the show is actually usually stuff I tab. Look at all these tabs, guys.
Yeah.
Not always, because a lot of this isn't the dance. But
yeah, the dance is actually a very small chunk of this book.
It is.
And honestly, that's how I have to read Game of Thrones, because there's just so much shit going on.
Yeah, there's no way. So to properly pay attention in these books, just know it's like homework. You have to take notes, but it's rewarding. It's fulfilling. It's actually one of the most rewarding books I've ever read, and it's probably not his most interesting because it does read like a history book.
Because it's a history book, yeah.
Yeah.
Did we really need that much Thailand? No, we didn't. We didn't actually.
Actually, that's not even in here either. So that was also
they
fun.
just be adding shit. It's fine.
They just knew if they had only given us 7 episodes, we'd be really mad. So this was genuinely a filler episode.
Yeah, but for a season finale, that's bad shit. That is a horrible decision.
For a season finale, it's a terrible decision.
Because
they could have literally developed characters that actually fucking matter, like Bela and Jace and Helena.
And they did
Reyna.
for all of 30 seconds, and then we had to stare at Alicent's dumbass face for so long.
Yeah. No, it was wild.
I don't know, guys. 2 years is a long time to wait for them to actually do something. And just to be clear, the dance is such a small chunk of this book because everything happens rather quickly. Like, it is kind of battle after battle after battle. So the fact that we had to endure a whole lot of nothing this season is bad. Like,
yeah, no, it is. So here's the deal. It is like, I'm gonna show you guys in the whole book. The dance is actually okay.
From when they first, I would say, from when they first start
like
talking
that.
Succession to, and by the dance, we mean it opens with the seeds of war were planted during times of peace, when Viserys's succession was, when he was named king. Like, that's the start of the dance in the book. So,
Blackfire Villain is not, at least not where I'm at in the book right now. No, I don't think so.
no.
I don't think it's this book.
Yeah.
This is crazy right now.
I don't even-
I highly recommend reading the books.
I don't even know what to say, guys. Read the book.
You know what? I do know what to say. Watch Interview with the Vampire, everyone, if you want an actually good show. If you want to see someone change, I'm just plugging the best show I've seen in recent years. If you
That's
wanna see
great,
a book
'cause-
get adapted. The changes that work.
Maria said the same
Watch
thing,
that.
so I think that's one I haven't hopped on yet.
I think you would love it. I don't know if you've read the books. There are changes to include POC characters.
Yeah,
I
cool.
actually believe the changes work because it upholds book tropes and character tropes
Great.
without assassinating characters. So it's
I love
just done
that.
well.
Cool. Yeah, vampires are my thing. Interview with a Vampire is one of the first vampire books I read, so
I love that. I love that.
yeah.
And I'm a big fan of the movie. I even loved the movie.
Yeah.
But like the show is so much better, especially season 2. Like season 2, episode 1, I was like, I might be out. And then I kept going, and it was genuinely one of the best seasons of TV I've ever seen in my life. And I was so disappointed because the first 4 weeks of House of the Dragon
Lined
Interview
up.
had its last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
And so I'd watch Interview, and then I'd go to House of the Dragon, and I was like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like, because I was like, why is Interview better? This shouldn't be better.
Honestly, that was me with Rings of Power last year because the first season of House of the Dragon was better, not great, but better. And that and Rings of Power were in succession, and
Yeah.
I was like, well, the costume design and everything is so much better in House of the Dragon, but the story is so much better in Rings of Power. Like, what's happening right now? It's like
I
whiplash.
will tell you, I've been so disappointed with House of the Dragon because I tried one episode of, and I will admit, I am a dick, okay, about Lord of the Rings and it being messed with. And I was like, why are we doing this? They didn't even get the rights. So I was off rip angry. So I watched one episode and I was like, oh, not into it, don't like it. And I was like, I don't like this. My elves need long hair. And I literally was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I rewatched it recently and I love it.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, I'm actually excited for season 2.
Yeah.
Maybe this won't disappoint me.
Well, see, I think a lot of fans' knee-jerk reaction was that they originally had said that they were adapting, like, a specific part of, like, his histories or whatever that were already published, and then they just didn't do that. And I was like, here's the thing. Nerds are pedantic as a motherfucker. If you had just said, we're adapting some point before Lord of the Rings, everyone would have been fine. But you said, we have this book. And I don't remember if it was the Silmarillion or anything, but you said this specific thing, and now nerds want that specific thing. And it is what it is. But I'm excited for season 2. I got to interview the Rings of Power cast at San Diego Comic-Con, and that was
I love that.
so cool. I was sitting so close to the Morphid, the girl that plays Galadriel, and she's so pretty. It's so stupid.
She is gorgeous. She really is. She was perfectly cast.
She, like, glows. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm staring at her, and I'm looking at my laptop. I'm like, I should ask her a question. What's a question I ask her, you wrote out all your questions, look at your laptop. Stop staring at her and look at your laptop. it was really bad. I'm like, oh no. But yeah, I'm super excited for Rings of Power Season 2. I'm hoping I get my screeners soon, actually.
That's all I'm gonna do for the next week is wreak havoc on House of the Dragon. And plug Rings of Power and Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna do this week. I'm gonna be booked and busy.
I'm gonna hop on Interview with the Vampire before Rings of Power starts, but I should probably rewatch season 1 of Rings of Power too. So.
Yeah. Hold on. If you can't join the Discord, don't press accept invite. I don't know why Discord is like this. Press the 3 dots and then open in browser, and then it'll open it properly. I don't know, it's weird. Did they actually kill off Sunfire? Well, yeah, that's a good question. Because wouldn't Aegon know if Sunfire was alive?
Theoretically, but he did say Sunfire's dead. Like, those are words he said. So I don't know. It's bad, guys. We're traumatized by this episode.
Yeah, I can't unsee this episode either. I would rather have editors